Hey guys, thanks for joining me for another Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia video, and today we're going to talk about crystal rooms a little bit. Now this isn't going to be my full crystal room guide, but what I want to do today is talk about what color maybe you should think about starting on first, and what we're going to do is we're actually going to look through my box. We're going to evaluate each color in the game, and we're going to look at which ones might be the best ones to do. Now I think everyone's first color is going to be a little bit different, because it's going to be based on which characters you have built up, right? Like where your box is the strongest and like what characters are coming out that you want to buff, right? My box though, since I have every character in the game up through LD at least, so I can say I have like actually workable versions of every character in the game. I would say what I'm going to be doing here is saying, like, if you had any character in the game, which color right now at the launch of crystal rooms would be the best ones to do, right? So let's start with white. And here's what we're looking for when we're looking at crystal color, right? Because when you're doing these crystal rooms, there's two things you got to look at when choosing your color. One is you want to choose a color with characters you're going to use a lot, because those are the characters getting buffed. But then also, you have to choose a color that you can make a really good team, because you're going to have to defeat Shinryu quests with a team of all that color to be able to earn the points, right? So those are the things you got to think about. So, and I think most colors have at least a workable team, but definitely some are going to be stronger than others, right? So when we look at white, what we're going to look for here is we're going to look for the main components we want for a good team. Is we want to have a really good DPS, a really good support, and then the third slot could either be like a tank, utility, or like another support, something like that. But at bare minimum, we have to have one really good DPS and one really good support, in my opinion, to really go into this going well, right? So if we look at white, white does have some really good options, right? So if you built General Leo, he could be your main DPS and you're set there. Warrior of Light is one of the best tanks in the game. So you've got DPS and tank, and then you have actually a lot of very good supports on white. You've got Sarah, you've got Penelo, you've got Yuna, Hope is very good as well, right? Twins, you know, if you built them, you could use them as DPS, provided it's AoE fight. Enna Crow's good, and the nice thing is you have Enna Crow with Hope and Penelo, so that's kind of like the Wombo combo for Enna Crow. So you have all of that there in white. Some of the LD only characters are solid, right? Like Porum, I think, is a solid LD only character. We definitely have Aiko, so there's some decent stuff here. I do really like what's her face here. If it wants to load up, holy cow. Arciela. Arciela is decent too, but LD only characters, you really don't want to look at them too strongly right now. Now, I do know that there are some big Seymour fans out there. So if you built Seymour, he could be like your main DPS there as well. And at the bottom, you know, if you're planning to get Braska for his rework, he could be an option. So I would say white is solid. I don't think white's going to be the best color. It's going to depend if you have the right characters built. I think what white is lacking, though, is like other than Leo, like it is kind of lacking a lot of DPS options. So you have to be careful with that. But if you do have Leo fully done, I mean, you definitely could get away with white, right? All right, so let's go ahead. Let's look at another color. So let's go ahead and look at black. I think black is a color some people are going to be chasing, right? Now, the big thing black lacks is support characters. But the reason why I think some people are going to go for black is because Astos is black. So we have to keep in mind we don't see Astos here, but he's like going to be the best DPS in the game. And then you've got Quina, right? And Quina could kind of serve as like the support role. And Quina's going to make everybody do max damage. And you've got Zac, Noctis. Like there's some really top tier characters here on black. I would think of black as being a very aggressive color. Like there's a lot of damage in black. But in terms of like support, I think Aroha might be the only like actual healer here on black. So that's the one part you have to be careful of. If you don't have Aroha built, you could be struggling without a healer. But black also has Gladio and Oron, right? And I do think Oron is still coming this month, even though he wasn't announced in the community stream. Joshua made it very clear that there would be a character or two that are not announced that we're expecting, and he said that they will still come. So just, I would say just don't hold your breath. I think Oron is actually still going to come if you don't think he is. So, and even without Oron, like Oron and Gladio LD only are still very, very good characters. So black is very, very strong for tanks. So if you like running a lot of tank-based teams, black might be a color for you, right? Looking down at the bottom, it gets pretty weak down at the bottom. I know, like, Dark Knight Cecil has had a recent upgrade, and some people may have built him up. Leon is also a good tank, LD only character. I know a lot of people like Squall, so Squall could be like your main DPS character. Setzer was supposed to come this month. We'll see. Setzer could be like Oran, where he's still coming even though he wasn't announced. We'll have to see on him. But Setzer is a really nice piece. I actually really like Seiss. I think Seiss is a very good unit. I personally probably will not do black just because to me it doesn't have enough support healing characters. I don't know if I'd be as comfortable going all in on black personally, but man, they do have a lot of tanks, and I think that's where black makes up for not having the supports and the healing is with the tanks. So black I do think can be a very good color, especially if you want to go all in on Astos and get Astos buffed right away. You definitely could do black. All right, let's go ahead and look at the next color. Let's look at yellow. Yellow, I think, is actually one of the weaker colors, and I think yellow is one of the reasons they brought lightning up early, because yellow kind of needs the help. Now, yellow's got Tifa, right? So Tifa, we're like, yep, we're really good there. Tifa as main DPS, one of the best in the game. But really, like in terms of Echo characters, there isn't much here. It's basically Tifa, Charlotta, and Balthier, right? And some people maybe didn't build Balthier. So if you don't have that, like there isn't a lot here. Like there's good characters, right? Like Luna Freya, very good support, but she doesn't have Echo. So if you're looking to build a full Echo team, I think that's why they're bringing Lightning up, because Lightning needs Echo for Yellow. Yellow doesn't have a lot of Echo here. We can go down. Like Lilith's a really good character, right? You got Selfie, and Selfie's fantastic, but once again, LD only character. Yang is a good off-turn character you can use. Cater, counter tank, right? They've got some good like LD only options, but they are like Yellow's just really struggling on like modern Echo characters. There just is not a lot there. So if you're going to use Yellow, I mean, you're going to be locked into a very limited selection until Yellow gets more stuff built in. So I actually think Yellow is one of the weaker colors, which is crazy to say with like Tifa in Yellow, but Tifa is really what's carrying Yellow right now. You know, East Tollit's a solid support. Like, they've got some decent support characters. They just don't have, like, the top-tier Echo ones, right? All right, let's look at the next color. Green. I think green is going to be one of the strongest colors. Green is really good. Green now has a lot of support characters. So we've got Iris, and I do know Joshua said her name is pronounced Iris. I'm still going to call her Iris. That's what I'm used to. Her name looks like Iris. I'm just going to call her Iris, okay? So you could hold you back from the comments right now telling me I'm pronouncing it wrong. It's fine. I'm used to Iris. That's what I'm going to go with. But Iris and Rem, Rubicante, like one of the best tanks in the game, right? So you've got supports, you've got tanks, and then you do have DPS here in Sid Reigns. So if you like Reigns a lot and you like him as your DPS, I definitely think you could go with green, right? And Dorgan's a really nice character. Terra's solid. She's an Echo character. So green has a lot of Echo. I know there's a lot of people like Cloud of Darkness. The big thing with green is I think green is getting Sephiroth. I think Sephiroth is going to be that question mark intersecting wills. So if that comes, that's a really strong buff for green, right? So Sephiroth, I mean, and then like Celis is just a really good tank that it doesn't really matter if she has Echo. And Rydia is also a good like dodge tank character. It doesn't matter if she doesn't have Echo. Renoa can still do really good damage. So we're getting Ace this month. So Ace is another good character. Cisne's a great off-turn. You've got Galif for another tank. Green is freaking stacked, man. Green's got a lot here. I think a lot of people are going to be choosing green. Oh, I didn't even mention Garnet, right? So Garnet, Rem, and Iris are three of like the best support characters in the game, and they're all Echo. So green is a really, really nice color choice in my opinion. I think a lot of people are going to choose green. Next, let's go to blue. Whoops, I don't want green and blue. Hold up. All right, so blue, I actually, it's sad to say, I think is a little bit weaker. They do have a decent amount of Echo characters, and you have Core, right? So Core is like one of the best off-turn characters, as a character that everybody likes using. So I think Core is going to be a great start to any team in blue. I would say if you're someone that fully built Pain, it makes blue a little bit more viable because Pain is going to be a really nice option there. I, for example, fully built Neon, and Neon is a solid character. Mog is a good character as well. And then Ursula, who we just got. So there are some options there. I have a feeling a lot of people pick blue because Cloud's there. I think Cloud's a fan favorite. And he's definitely solid. But, you know, once you get past, like, these first six, I think, like, Maria, Pain, Ursula, Neon, Core, and Mog. Like, that top 6 is pretty solid. But underneath that, now, we've got good characters, we just are lacking Echo. And not to mention we have Jack Garland, who I still think is a ridiculous damage dealer without Echo. So you definitely can make a team work. You don't have to have a team of 3 Echo to make this work. Now, the other thing, too, that I forgot to mention is if Sephiroth is coming for the intersecting wills, that also would bring Aranea. And Aranea is a very good character that people will like. So Aranea would be a nice upgrade to Blue, and I think Blue could use that upgrade for sure. Edge is one of the better LD-only characters in the game as a nice dodge tank for the party. 8 can work as a dodge tank, right? Trey works as a trap character. So yeah, Blue's got some decent characters out there, right? I don't think it's the strongest color, though. I think Blue... I mean, I guess if you still want to roll with Garland, they do have, like, a really good DPS character. So you'd have to roll with, like, Garland and then, like, 2 Echo characters. Now, the other thing when I'm looking at Blue, I'm actually not seeing a lot of support healing characters, right? Now, you could use Pain as, like, a buff support, which is almost what you'd have to do. And then, or like, Ursula is, like, a support, right? And I guess Maria can heal, too. So I guess that's kind of where you're stuck. But you don't, they're really lacking, like, the top-tier support characters, right? So Blue is kind of lacking a little bit there, right? I think in JP was in a better spot for Blue because I think they had Rose's upgrade, and Rose is a really good support character with her Echo. But yeah, I think Blue is a little bit at an odd spot here on Global. So I don't know, even though that we've got like Core, who's crazy, I don't know that I would go Blue here. All right, last we're going to look at Red. Now, Red, I also think is a pretty strong color. And for me personally, I might actually be choosing Red. The reason why is Aerith, I think, is probably the best support character in the game, and she's probably my most used character. And then I think Rex is actually the best DPS in the game right now until Astos comes, right? So because I've got the best support character and the best damage dealer right there, like starting with Rex and Aerith as the core to my team just seems too good to pass up, right? And then I could supplement that with, say, maybe an Edgar. I've got Vaughn is a really good DPS you could run here as well. I actually do have my 7 built, and I kind of like 7's like off-turn damage. Kurosami I don't have fully built, but he's solid. But the big thing for me, the reason what kind of put Red over the edge for me, is that I'm planning to get Yuffie and Beatrix, and they're both sitting there on Red, right? And then also... if you want off-turn, Freya is still a really, really nice off-turn character. So I think Red, for me, just has, like... It's got all the pieces, but it's got, like, really, really good versions of the pieces that I want, right? It definitely could have more. I think Green still is, like, the most flush. Like, it's got, like, the most Echo characters that you can run. But I'm kind of, for, like, what I've got in my box, I'm actually really liking Red. So that's what I might actually do. And I'm thinking my team... And Minwoo's here too. Like, Minwoo's crazy still. So I'm thinking I would start with Aerith and Rex. And then probably do like Beatrix or Yuffie. Something like that for my team. But it's just got everything I want. So I think Red is going to be my choice. If I don't do Red, it's definitely going to be Green. I'm definitely torn on Red and Green. I feel like these two colors are really strong. I mean, Green does have a ton, right? Like, Green's really good. You got Rubicante. Yeah, the supports on Green are just so strong. Like, you could almost just run full support teams if you really wanted to. But yeah, Green is also very, very strong, especially if Sephiroth is coming. So I'm going to have to think about it up until the last second here. But I'm thinking Green or Red. Right now I'm leaning Red. But we'll have to see. So anyways, guys, let me know what color you are going to start with. And then I'm planning on, I think I will stream tonight because it's going to be pretty hype with all this stuff dropping. And then we'll try to do like a full guide on this new Crystal Chambers, right? So anyways, let me know what you guys are going to do. Thanks for watching. We'll catch y'all on the next one.